All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Denise Poole, Senior Associate Athletic Director for Penn Athletics, overseeing the Patrick Center for Student Athlete Success. And I am thrilled today to be joined by Sonia Johnson, our new Head of Athletics Mental Health Services. So welcome, Sonia. I'm so excited to speak with you today and to introduce you to the Penn community. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
This is just a quick overview and video, a conversation with you to get to know you a little bit more as our community gets to know you a bit more. So let's start off with a few questions. First question I have for you is what is exciting you most about this new role with Penn Athletics?
Yeah, so I'm really just excited to keep building on what has already been created here. And also just to bring my own unique spin and my own lived experiences to this role. I think the biggest thing for me is just getting to know all the teams, all the individuals, all the support staff, kind of everyone that helps Penn Athletics run and get to know the culture that exists here as well. And really just being an additional source of support for all the student athletes.
Awesome. Yes, we certainly need it. We're super excited, if I haven't said that enough, to have you here. There are a lot of people to meet and to know across this vast department, but we'll give you some time and grace during this period of getting to know everybody. So for folks, especially our new student athletes and even for our returners, how would you go about describing what athletics mental health services means to you in just a few sentences?
Yeah, I think obviously in the name talks about mental health, so it's really focusing on the well-being, like holistic well-being of student athletes. But I would say there's a very specific context that athletics mental health exists in. So I think there's your run-of-the-mill day-to-day struggles that you experience, like anxiety, stress, like school stress, life stress. But I think athletics puts a different spin on it. There's dealing with team dynamics, there's dealing with coach conflicts, or dealing with teammate conflicts, inter-team competition, people who are like your best friends and having to compete with them for playing time or just like a role on the team. And so I think there's that spin of I have this nuanced understanding of what that means in the greater scheme of things, not just what you're dealing with off of the competition field, but also how that comes into and impacts your athletic performance and just all of those things that come with playing a sport. And so I think it's a very specific, specialized focus of mental health that kind of focuses on how also do our day-to-day life things impact our athletic performance and just our athletic experience overall.
Great answer. Absolutely. There is a lot of competing priorities and challenges in the role of being a student athlete.
Mhm.
So, what drew you to working with this population specifically?
Yeah, I think this is my favorite question to ask because I think I just fell into it and then it worked out. So I played sports growing up and also played soccer in college. And I think between my freshman and sophomore year, I ended up seeing a sports psych professional. And it really helped me. I was dealing with some performance anxiety and I realized I could talk to somebody about their sport for a living and help them become the best at their sport and then also just become a good person. And it was a way to just stay involved in athletics forever because I think I thought I was going to be a doctor and then learned really quickly that was not for me. So it was just a different way to stay involved in athletics. And as I just continued on throughout college, I realized I really want to help student athletes just perform their best and then most importantly just be good people. And so I kind of just fell into it and then it stuck and got this dream position pretty early on in my career.
That's great. So, it sounds in general like athletics and sport have been a part of your life for a long time. Has it always
Yeah.
been soccer, or have you participated in other sports? And maybe what also is, or some of your favorite sports?
Yeah, so definitely soccer. I think that ended up being my specialized sport when I was 10 or 11. But I'm just a sport fan in general. I watch basketball. I've been starting to watch baseball this year because the World Series or the playoffs have been really interesting. So I've been watching them. I watch college football every weekend, NFL, kind of dabble in anything that's in season. I really do enjoy college athletics, so I mostly just watch college sports, but I will literally turn on anything in the background just to have something to watch.
That's great. So switching gears a little bit, in your work with student athletes and the many challenges and pressures that we already discussed that student athletes face. If you could have any superpower in your work of helping student athletes specifically, what would that superpower be?
Yeah, I think my superpower would be to help instill confidence and positive self-talk in every single athlete because I think those two things go hand in hand when it comes to just being like happy with yourself as a person. And so if I could help every student athlete feel confident and speak to themselves in a kind way, I think I would that would be amazing. I'd be a witch with that too.
Very fitting for this time of year, right?
Yeah.
Magical, mystical. Um, so all right, that's great. I would love that too. So maybe we can
Hmm.
find other ways that aren't or we can exercise that superpower, if you will.
Yeah.
So what would you say your favorite way is to de-stress or
Mhm.
recharge after a long day or more stressful situation?
Yeah, so the non-serious answer is I like to lay on the ground. Like I genuinely will get home from work and just like do a quick lay and just kind of like ground myself back into the moment, into reality, just so that I have some like a moment of stillness. But I guess a more serious answer and probably a typical thing that I do is I'll just hang out with my fiance, kind of debrief from the day of work and our dog and like have a good dinner or go for a walk. Just kind of reminding myself that there's like a life outside of work.
It's a great answer. I too also will ground myself by just like getting down there. I think that's a great simple thing to do sometimes, right? Where
Hmm.
you just need to like break away a little bit and be with
Yeah.
yourself and ground yourself. But yeah, definitely having folks around to kind of just talk through whatever that situation is can be really, really helpful. So I agree with that as well. All right, if your friends had to describe you in 3 words, what would they say about you personally?
Yeah, I think this was hard. I feel like I've had to ask my friends this before, so I tried to like pull on those things that they've said. But I would say that they would say I'm a compassionate person, a pretty good listener, I think comes with the territory, and I'm also quirky in the terms of I have a lot of niche interests. So I kind of just like find really random things interesting. So I kind of have a wide variety of things I get into.
Well, you heard that there, student athletes. If you have unique interests, Sonia's definitely someone that would love to hear about them. So definitely you can pop by and have somebody to chat with about those interests. Well,
Hmm.
thank you for sharing that. So, on a more serious note, I want to talk to you a little bit about just mental health in general and how we can support one another better. So, what are some signs that a student athlete might notice to tell them themselves? We'll start here, like first, themselves, some things that they may notice about themselves that would kind of uh, alert them that it would be a good idea to reach out to you or other mental health services on campus.
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and maybe something like that building of self-awareness that's really important. But I have a couple ideas of just things to look out for amongst like in yourself if you feel like maybe I'm not feeling like myself right now. So thinking about if you're experiencing increased irritability, so just becoming annoyed more frequently by things that typically would just like roll off your shoulders. If you have some difficulty focusing, whether it's in your sport, whether it's in school, or just like in anything, things that typically are easy for you to focus on. Maybe experiencing some increased negative self-talk. So your internal dialogue is just not the same as it usually is, and you're kind of looking more towards the negative or listening to more of those negative thoughts than the positive ones. Maybe if there's a change in appetite, and this could look like eating a lot more or eating a lot less, or just not having an appetite and not feeling hungry. And then I think a really big indicator, especially amongst like the 18 to 22-year-old college athlete population, is isolating yourself from friends and family. Maybe it's just kind of wanting to spend more time by yourself, not reaching out to people as much, not reaching out to teammates, not really wanting to talk to people at practice, is also an indicator that maybe it's time to do some like self-reflection of, hey, am I like feeling okay right now, or do I need to go talk to someone?
Yeah. Those are all really great tips. And I think my next question, some of those tips you just gave translates to answering potentially this next question as well. But I'm kind of interested in what, from a peer-to-peer perspective, student athletes can be looking out for their teammates and friends as to when they may want to help support them a little bit more in helping them connect with some resources. So what are some behaviors that student athletes can look out for their friends and teammates to try and support them better?
I would say it's really similar. And I think it's a lot of times it's easier to see it in other people than it is to see in us. But I do think that piece of like, is your friend not coming around as often? Are they more short in their responses over text? Are they just not answering texts at all? Are they having a hard time going to class? Kind of like if that stuff starts to change, where they're starting to just withdraw from like normal, like schedule things that you know they can do, it's probably maybe time to just check in or just do a little bit more prodding of like, hey, is everything going okay? I've noticed that like you don't respond to my texts as often. And just that, I think, too, shows that you care and you also notice that something maybe is going on. Because I think for a lot of us, we just want someone to like see us, especially amongst friendships. And so really recognizing, are there just those little interpersonal, like interactional behavior changes? And can you kind of speak to that you've noticed a difference and that you also care about them? And so kind of framing it that way is helpful too.
Yeah, those are fantastic suggestions. And I think at the heart of building a strong community, we really do need to be looking out for one another. Quite often, I hear from student athletes that maybe they just don't want to intrude or seem like they're overbearing in any way of what they're observing. But I think, we need to trust like our intuition and our observations. And when things don't seem like they are healthy, productive, or normal for an individual, like speaking up is really important. So
Yeah.
we also created last year an anonymous form that student athletes, if they really feel like they'd like to alert someone within the department, particularly you, Sonia will be overseeing that form in conjunction with other professionals that have access to it, where that's just another outlet that student athletes can use to kind of report maybe an individual that might need a little bit more assistance if they themselves feel like it's a little outside of their reach. So just letting everybody know that that's available to them.
Mhm.
All right, great. So let's switch a little bit again. What's one myth about mental health that you would like to bust?
Yeah, I think this is kind of a corny myth, and but that asking for help is a weakness. I think it's probably one of the best, strongest things that you can do is recognizing, hey, I can't do everything for myself right now, and maybe I need to talk to someone, whether it's a mental health professional, whether it's a friend, whether it's family, whether it's someone from CSAS, academics, like a coach, that like asking for help is not a weakness. It's actually just kind of the first step to getting better and to feeling better.
Absolutely. Clap for that one. All right. And next question for you. This is a difficult one. You are one person, a very important person within our department, but primary point of contact, but we have a very large population. So maybe you could give us a little bit more insight to how you plan to support student athletes' mental health on an individual level and also on a team level. That's
Yeah, I
mental
mean,
health
as
and well-being.
yeah, of course, as Denise said, I'm one for many. So I think the biggest kind of like I took this as like what is a tip or something to instill that athletes can use on a team individual level, and that would be hold for this it's corny but self-compassion. I think that's the biggest thing that we can give to ourselves and to give to other people around us, and I think that's the biggest thing that athletes sometimes lack is because we're in this environment of competition where we have to be hard on ourselves. We want to get better, we want to be smarter, we want to beat the people around us, but that often leads to burnout and you stop enjoying what you're doing, you withdraw, you kind of leads to those mental health struggles. And so finding a way to be kind and give yourself grace for just like the ebbs and flows of the year of the competition time can be really helpful in just kind of mitigating some of those mental health concerns, as well as giving compassion to teammates, recognizing we're all in this together and that we can all support each other through all of this hard time. And that if we're able to kind of create a culture of safety, a community of like, hey, I got your back, that can also really impact and help kind of stave off some of those bigger mental health concerns. And just to know that like everywhere you turn, you have someone there who has your back. Because I think that like piece of safety is the most important thing in terms of like maintaining, like, I guess, like healthy culture and healthy mental health. So I think that's probably the biggest thing I want to bring is just kind of like, hey, we got all these people around us that we can look at for support, as well as I can give myself that grace that maybe I give to other people, to kind of help, I guess, yeah, like help keep things not as serious and that like this is not all do or die every single day.
Great. So I think I merged some questions together there a little bit, but I think what I'm hearing in that too is just maybe a tip that our student athletes can take with them in the more immediate sense, especially during this particular time of year. So we're recording this in week 10 of a semester, which tends to be a very a time of just heightened stress, and there's just added responsibility academically, athletically, especially for those in season and getting towards the ends of their season. So, so maybe that tip is practicing that what you're talking about and that
Mhm.
self-compassion, and using that great advice. So, if there are there any other tips that maybe during this time of the year that you'd like to share or have student athletes try and practice?
Yeah, so more of a tangible thing because I think self-compassion is a long-term progress because a lot of times when you hear be nice to yourself, it's like, okay, whatever. But I was thinking also like practicing gratitude. Because like you said, Denise, like it's a pretty stressful time right now. We can get really bogged down and our world can be really small in terms of what we have to focus on. And maybe taking time in the morning or at night to think about three things like outside of this immediate world that you feel grateful for, just to kind of zoom out and see that there's more than just what's in front of you. And also maybe that gives you the chance to, oh, I haven't talked to my this friend in a while and I'm really grateful for their friendship. And that kind of pulls you out of the stress that you're experiencing. So just thinking about maybe adding some gratitude practice to either your morning or your evening.
I love that. I might try that today while lying on the floor. I'll combine those
Yeah,
two
there you go.
things.
Combine all the things together.
Why not? Let's do it all. All right. Well, now it's time for just a quick fire, rapid round of questions for you to get to know a little bit more about who you are. What's your favorite sports movie? It's very specific.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. She's the Man.
Okay.
Probably my favorite sports movie. It's sport adjacent,
Yeah.
but soccer is in there.
Yeah. It's a good one. It's a good one. All right. What was your favorite pregame meal?
I enjoyed when we would have like early games and so breakfast food. So like sometimes some pancakes, some good carbs. I enjoyed that. Some eggs.
Sounds good. It's making me hungry. Do you have any hidden talents?
I think I said before that I have niche interests. I'm pretty good at trivia, so knowing random facts, I would say is my hidden talent. Just kind of knowing a little bit about everything.
We'll know who to invite for trivia night for sure. Do you have any pet peeves?
This was hard to think of, but I think outside clothes on inside furniture. So I have a
Okay.
separate set of inside clothes for when I get home because I don't want the stuff outside getting on my
Okay.
furniture.
That's very interesting, but
hmm
definitely unique. Okay. We'll remember that.
hmm
What's your dream vacation spot?
Oh, Portugal. Going to the beach.
Have you ever been?
No, it's why it's my
Okay.
dream. Hopefully
Okay.
sometime soon.
Didn't know if you were dreaming of it from a previous trip or just it's on the bucket list. So,
Yeah.
all right. All right. And just to wrap up with you, what's one message you'd like to leave all Penn student athletes with who are watching this video?
Yeah, I think I just hope if you guys get anything out of this, it's that it's okay to reach out for help and that kind of in my first couple days, first week here, there's a lot of people in athletics that just want to support you all and that want to help you become better people, better athletes, better just like well-rounded individuals so that when you leave Penn, you feel really prepared for the real world and that we're just here to support you and that I'm here to support you specifically if it's a mental health or just life concern. And I really just don't want anyone to be afraid to reach out. I hope to feel that it feels like I've kind of humanized mental health a little bit in this short intro video and that I'm here for you, basically.
Great. Well, thank you, Sonia. We are so excited to have you. Thank you for spending some time with us to
Yeah, of
record
course.
this video. And obviously, we'll be here along the way to help you continue to acclimate to your new role and to the University of Pennsylvania. And for those of you watching, if you want to read more information about Sonia, her full press release is on our Penn Athletics websites. And, please feel free to reach out to her. We'll be sharing her contact information regularly. So thank you so much. Take
Thanks.
care.